After traipsing through the jungle in green hell, Vincent's next adventure was the 1940 film Brigham Young, starring Dean Jagger, Tyrone Power, and Linda Darnell. The film opens on a group of hunters gathering for a wolf hunt, which is actually code for a good old-fashioned mob. They meet by the riverbank and smear their faces in mud, presumably to hide their identities, then attack a peaceful gathering of Mormons. They beat two elders with a bullwhip, shoot a third in the back, and burn the house and barn to the ground. The Mormons gather to discuss what to do about this, and their leader, Joseph Smith, played by Vincent Price, decides the time has come to make a stand for themselves. And if there's any more trouble, the Mormons will fight back.
All my life, I've asked only one thing of my neighbors: to be left alone in peace. We've stuck to that in every state we've been in. But I guess it won't work.
What?
You may be right, Angus. But perhaps it's time for us to show a different kind of courage and do something besides be killed for what we believe. Tell the people I said to arm themselves.
That's treason.
That if there's any more raiding, we're going to fight back. Tell them I'm going to lead them myself. If they haven't got guns, get guns for them. Tell them we're through turning the other cheek.
In the very next scene, we learn that Joseph Smith has been arrested for treason and instigating an armed rebellion. The trumped-up charge goes to court, and Smith is found guilty without the jury even deliberating.
We don't have to watch, Your Honor. He's guilty.
He's incarcerated the next day and brought back for sentencing, but he never makes it back to court because an angry mob of anti-Mormons breaks into the jail and attacks Smith.
Oh, Lord, my God.
And for the second time in a row, Vincent's participation in a film is done in the first reel. The remainder of the movie deals with the Mormon struggles to establish their religion, traveling cross-country to new territory, and the budding romance between Jonathan Kent, played by Tyrone Power, and Zena Webb, played by Linda Darnell, who would be cast as romantic leads in several more films together, including one of my all-time favorites, The Mark of Zorro. Horror fans will find this film significant as it's the first time that Vincent was teamed with fan favorite John Carradine, who he would become real-life friends with and meet again on screen in 6 more feature films as well as a number of television appearances.
Those fellas need a little lead in their bellies, and if you say the word,
Tear them limb from limb, I know.
Well, that's what they're reaching for.
Overall, Brigham Young is a well-made film that works best in the action sequences, but bogs down a bit in between. Next up for Vincent would be more fictionalized history in the 1941 film Hudson's Bay. In it, Vincent plays King Charles II, who funds an expedition to the Hudson's Bay region of northern Canada to gather furs. This expedition is led by a pair of trappers named Pierre Radisson, played by Paul Mooney, and Gooseberry, played by Laird Craig, who are joined by Englishman Lord Edward Crewe, played by John Sutton. Of course, there's a little romance thrown in between Lord Crewe and Lady Barbara Hall, played by Jean Tierney, as well as a little court intrigue, harkening back to a couple of Vincent's earlier roles. Vincent plays King Charles II with a foppish flair, in ornate clothing and draping wigs. But overall, Vincent's part is pretty one-dimensional, with little screen time and little to do. Price would go on to work with actress Jean Tierney several more times, most notably in the film noir classic Laura. Hudson's Bay was directed by Irving Pischel, best known for directing The Most Dangerous Game and Destination Moon. Next up for Vincent will be another religious-themed film from 1943, The Song of Bernadette.
Hallelujah!
Scrubbing mildew stains is a monstrous job, so instead, spray on Tilex. With Tilex Instant Mildew Stain Remover, mildew stains vanish with no scrubbing. Tilex, it makes a monstrous job easy.